Will we get a recession from government spending cuts and mass deportation? My friend Ed Dowd is out with a new report predicting we could see a, quote, short but deep recession in 2025 driven by massive cuts to government spending. What's changed, according to Dowd, is just how much wasteful spending and corruption DOGE has uncovered. He calls the fraud, quote, mind-shocking. Now, we always knew there was a lot of waste in government. I'd guessed north of $600 to $700 billion, or about 10 cents on the dollar. But I, too, was pretty mind-shocked just how much pure corruption there is. To the point, taxes are effectively bankrolling the entire left and its NGO industrial complex, potentially to the tune of hundreds of billions. To give a flavor, one NGO led by failed Democrat Senate candidate Stacey Abrams had $100 in the bank, 0 full-time staff, yet it got a $2 billion climate grant. So this matters partly because it funds the AstroTurf left. It ain't democracy, it's money. But also because all those billions keep inflation going and prop up GDP, which bizarrely counts $1 billion in government handouts as if it was $1 billion cranked out by a factory. This all plays havoc with the economic numbers. So to illustrate, government-funded NGOs alone employ about 6 million people. If they were all fired, that alone would drive unemployment to 8% and knock consumer spending into recession. Meanwhile, Dowd estimates spending on illegals between $50,000 and $100,000 per illegal out of your pocket. Multiply that times 10 to 15 million illegals, and it comes to between 50 billion and 1.5 trillion reduction in government spending. Now, if that sounds high, last year New York City announced that it was spending $12 billion on illegal immigrants, including putting them up in luxury hotels. So if you put the NGOs and the illegals together, cutting off the free money could knock nearly 5% off GDP. That would make it a proper recession, actually a fairly deep one, with hundreds of thousands laid off from NGO activists to people providing free housing and free medical care to illegals on your dime. Of course, it would also be a massively wealth-generating recession. All those extra nurses and dentists mean you can actually get an appointment. But media will run with GDP and paint it black. Finally, housing. So Dowd notes that illegal immigrants have been holding up rent prices, which is keeping housing expensive. Mass deportation would be great for blue-collar Americans who could get a break on rent or even buy a house. But the drop in housing demand could ripple through prices, potentially, according to Dowd, setting off a 2008-style housing crash. Now, 2008 was more about liar loans and lending money to deadbeats rather than housing demand. Still, the heady days of double-digit growth in house prices could be over for a while. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Between cutting off 6 million NGO workers and 10 to 15 million illegals, we could be looking at the mother of paper recessions, approaching demobilization after World War II. It will make us much richer as a nation and much safer, but we could indeed see a short, deep recession in 2025. Fortunately, we know what's on the other side of a government spending recession, a 1950s-style decade of prosperity. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.